Now we know what we're gonna find in our project. The basic code we have already implemented, and now it's time to see how to implement the basics of picture-in-picture. Okay, so the first thing we need to do to support picture-in-picture in our application is the following one. We can go here to our Android manifest, and in our activity, this activity is the one I'm gonna use for picture-in-picture. Sorry. So if you have many activities, you just need to set up this on the activities where you actually want to support the picture-in-picture. In this case, we only have one, so it's going to be our one, the player activity, and here we can actually put Android and then support picture-in-picture, and we can put here true. After this, when we see here a warning. Okay, this warning is exactly the same as we saw before. Okay, here say supports picture-in-picture is only for the API 24 and above. To use picture-in-picture, you need 26. Sorry, as we saw, you need Oreo or above. Anyway, let's go. We can put here Android, and we need to handle few changes on our own. So we need to do that. We need to do config changes. And here on the config changes, there is a few things we need to support. Well, config changes we need to handle on our own. So here, basically, so here basically what we can do is we can actually pass the screen size, and then also the smallest screen size, and then also screen layout, and then orientation. Cool. So this is everything we need to handle on our own, and we can continue seeing how to implement it. First of all, after support picture-in-picture, we need to go to our activity, and here we need to and here we need to set. Sorry, it's on user. Here on set on user left hint, we need to start the picture-in-picture mode, but everything regarding the player is on the fragment. Unfortunately, if we go to the fragment, and if we go to the fragment here and we put on user left hint, there is a leave hint. Sorry, there is no method to override. So what we need to do is pass from the activity to the fragment. How we can do that? To do that, basically, what we can do is just create we can create a for, and inside the for we put fragment, and here in the fragment we put in, and then we can get the list of fragment already on our fragment manager. Support like fragment, and we get fragments. Okay. So this one, what he's gonna do is he's gonna check which is the latest fragment inside of the fragment manager, and then check if, in this for our demo, we need to check if fragment is player fragment. Okay, so if it's player fragment, then in this fragment he's gonna find specifically this method. This method already is not implemented, but we can do is just press Alt, we press Enter, and we create member function in the player fragment. We press Enter, and there we go. Here it is. So now we have user leave hint inside of our fragment. All right. So actually, when it's found the fragment, we can put here return, because we don't need to find another. We don't need to find another player fragment anyway. So here now we have this. So now we have this one here, and what we can do now is basically 1 second, please. Let me check, because I have here all the code itself. Yep. So now what we can do is create a method, one private method, just to check. We can actually. It's gonna be private. Gonna be fun, and we're gonna call this one is player activity, and has PIP support. Okay, why we need to do this one? Basically, you know what we want to, when we if our project was much bigger, probably we will have more than one activity. And with this one, what I try to show you guys is we want to handle the support for this specific project if it's the player activity. If we actually, this fragment is inside of the player activity. If it's not, it will be false. So for this specific scenario, sorry, we're gonna put equal, and then we wanna return here. We're gonna return a boolean actually. Okay. Well, we don't need to because it's gonna be obvious once we write the code. So we can put here require activity dot, and then is require activity is player activity, yeah, and require activity dot has PIP support. All right. So now with this specific function, we will see if our activity is player activity and also has PIP support. Cool. Here in this one, now we can put if is player activity has PIP support, and if it's the case, then we put require activity, and here on required activity, then we put enter picture mode. Okay, here on picture mode, we need to pass the parameters, you know, picture in picture parameters. Then to create these picture in picture parameters, we can actually do the same, but here on top, sorry, let's make it down. Here on top we can put target API, because actually what we want to do is check if the code is Android O at least. Okay, so we can put here private fun and update pip params. Cool. So we have here update pip params, and we want to create picture in picture params, and then we create a builder. Here on this builder, we put set actions. Here on these actions, we want to in future videos, we're gonna create a list of icons with their functions, so with their events, etc., and we're gonna pass it here. At the moment, we don't have any list, so we're gonna just pass it an empty list, okay, just to be totally empty. And here we're gonna put build. All right. So now this update p params, picture in picture params, we can put it here, and there we go. We have our left hint. Okay. So now if we go to the top, itself, we can set, we can set few things, for the player. So for the player itself, first thing we can do is just go to the Viewmodel itself. Okay, so here on the Viewmodel we have this UI, and the Viewmodel we can create a data class which is called on is playing changing. Okay, and we're gonna pass here is playing, because is playing. All right, so this is playing is gonna be a boolean. I'm gonna explain to you guys this one. Playing change. Okay, so it's playing. Sorry. So you're gonna be a boolean, and this one is gonna return a UI model. All right. Sorry, is ball. I need to put here ball. Yes, and this one is UI model, etc. Yeah. And here what we're gonna do is fun. We're gonna create a player events. Here player events, and this one's gonna be the player events from the ExoPlayer. We put here this one, and player dot event listener. We're gonna open this. There's nothing there, but we can override one, and the one we want to override is exactly the same as this name, this on is playing changes. Okay, so this one on is playing changes, what we can do is we're gonna pass the model and we're gonna pass the value here inside, and this one is gonna be the UI model is playing, and inside we're gonna pass is playing. So now with this one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this as the event handler for our player, and then when the playing is changed, then we're gonna send whatever is the value here to the view, and yeah, and we're gonna do everything there, whatever we need to do. Let's move back to the fragment. Okay, and one of the things we need to do first before everything is the following one. So we're gonna create a variable which is gonna be constant. Okay, it's gonna be unmutable, and here this variable is gonna be is playing. Okay, this is playing is we're gonna get only. It's gonna be the get value only, and it's gonna be from the player. Okay, from the player, we're gonna put is playing. Okay, so this what we want to do is if it's for whatever the reason, you know, player is null, etc., we want to post here false. Okay, so just to, you know, just difference, it's not gonna be anymore, you know, an optional. It's gonna be whatever happen. If it's true, true. If it's false, false. But in the case when it's null, then it's gonna return false here. So let's get this one, and we need to include this one. I forgot to add this here. Okay, and is playing, because if it's not playing the player, there is no point, you know, to enter in picture mode, because it's gonna only open a window there. There's nothing is gonna happen. It's gonna be there stopped, so it's just annoying. So yeah, we can put this one there. Good. So now we can actually open on view create. Okay. And here on the view create, we can actually start to, you know, we need to create. We need to add the view models. Actually, sorry, I didn't create the view models here. Sorry, the private view model. Okay, it's gonna be player view model. Player view model. Okay, and then by view model. Okay, guys. Sorry. Yeah, view models. Sorry, I forgot this one. Yeah, I will include it. This, just in case you didn't see this one before. This one is this main thread method, as you can see here, is included in this library. In fragment kit. Okay, you can use. There is also activity KTX. But because we don't gonna use it there, you know, I include this one. But yeah, just to know, you can actually find exactly the same for the activity in activity KTX. Okay, so now we have the view model. Let's initialize. So let's listen to our view model. Okay, so we can put this one there, model, and then observe, and here on the lifecycle it's gonna be view lifecycle owner, and here on this one it's gonna be observer. And here on this observer we're going to create a new method. Okay, this new method is going to be update UI. Yeah, it's this one, activity lifecycle update UI, and we don't have this method neither, so let's create the function itself. Sorry, let's create the function. We can create the function, and this is going to be inside on, yeah, exactly. Cool. And here we can create when, and when we say, okay, when UI model, actually, we can put it remain in branches and null, nothing. This one is never going to be null. Let's put else, and then else is going to be unit. Okay, we know it's not going to send something else, but yeah, you know, this one is unit. Cool. So now we're gonna listen all our events from the view model itself, and what we need to do is the following one. So here on this one is gonna say if is player view model and has PIP support in that scenario, then we wanna require activity. We wanna require activity, and inside of the activity we're gonna set picture in picture. Set picture in picture, and the params is gonna be exactly the same params. Update PIP params there. Okay, this one, nothing else. Cool. So I just want to highlight a few things. One of the things is on user leave hint, you need to initialize. You need to open with the enter picture in picture mode, and on the player you need to set picture in picture mode. Okay, so picture in picture params and all these things. Cool. So this is practically all. So I think everything should work as expected. No, actually, there's one thing more I need to implement. Sorry, I was very close to forget about that. So yeah, one of the things we need to add here is the player. Sorry, yeah, my apologize. Yeah. Sorry, and in the release, in initialize the player, here when we actually initialize the player, okay, we need to add, so yeah, is player.add listeners. Yeah, so here on add listeners, we can actually pass it. We can actually pass the the Viewmodel. Sorry, Viewmodel dot player events. Okay, so now with this one, what is gonna happen is we're gonna add the listeners. We're gonna listen the listeners on the Viewmodel. When the player changes, it's gonna return this player. So this on is player changes to the view, and here on the view. Sorry, this on top. Yep, and here when the player changes, it's gonna send here, and that's practically all. Okay, it's now. Let's try running the application. I'm gonna show this one here. We can see the player, and the player should start anytime. Okay, so there we go. So let's see if it works, the picture in picture mode. Yeah, there we go. We have this picture in picture mode here. It's just the only thing is, I think we actually see. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so now it's empty, there is no icons, but yeah, we have this floating window here. So that is everything for this video. Okay, I know this video is a little bit long. I wasn't expected, to be that long, but I think is, if we actually see everything together, then everything's gonna be more clear for you guys. Okay, so in the next video, we will see how we're gonna start to include the icons and how to give them event listeners, etc. Okay, so I see you guys in the next video.